Welcome to video 7 of the Using SEO to Market Your Website series. This tutorial deals with organizing your website, why it's important, and how to optimize your website structure for search engines. When we're talking about organization of the site, we're talking about organization of the content, structuring the content. When structuring your content, you want to separate your pages by keyword phrases. This keeps each page relevant to that keyword phrase so that crawlers can get a strong identification based on the content it represents. This will maximize the keyword ranking for each page, and in turn your overall website ranking for your primary keyword phrase. So to start, as your website is broken down from the main page to a content page, and that content page into several other pages, you want each page's content to be a more specific subsidiary of the parent page. For example, if you have a sports-related website, you want your baseball pages only to link to other baseball pages. So if your site was broken down into baseball, basketball, and football, you would want your baseball page only to link to other baseball pages, such as baseball team. From baseball team, you might want to link to that baseball team's players. This would be the ideal breakdown as opposed to having a sports page and then having a teams page with both baseball and basketball teams. Now, having a well-defined structure will also encourage you to use appropriate file names and locations for your pages. A well-organized layout from the start will also encourage consistent and content-rich pages as you develop the site. In a sense, it'll set the standard for your website. Another important component of organization is number of pages versus the amount of content per page. In general, websites with more pages rank higher. This is because more links make the site look more established. The point being here is that it's better to have several short pages than just a few long pages. In general, you want each page to have at least 200 words, and you want that page's keyword phrase to account for between 5 and 20% of those words. However, in trying to follow this, don't sacrifice the quality of your content. Make sure each page is full of high quality and unique content. On the other hand, don't have lots of duplicate pages or near duplicates. Some search engines will actually penalize you in ranking for this. Finally, don't create a lot of fluff pages. Now, these are pages that you're creating just simply to increase the number of pages in your website. If anything, this will usually only broaden the identification of your website. So, for instance, let's say our Miami seafood restaurant website, if they were to create a 400-page history of restaurants in the world, that would only help identify that website as an information website or something along the lines of Wikipedia. You want to create content pages that say, hey, we're at this restaurant in Miami, our seafood's great, come eat at our restaurant. Now, nesting pages is another important element. By nesting, I mean the directory structure and location of your files on the server. You want to keep your pages as close to the root directory as possible. The root directory would be www.yourpage.com/mypage.html, for instance. The reason being, as most crawlers look at your site, they consider subdirectories of less value. So if you have a subdirectory of a subdirectory of a subdirectory, the crawler sees that as being not the most important section of your website that contributes to the identification of your site as a whole. A lot of people use subdirectories to organize their website on a server, but this only says that the pages in the main directory are the most important pages. Ideally, you'd want to have all of your pages in the main directory, but a good rule of thumb is not to nest any important pages more than 2 or 3 directories deep. If possible, only one. Now let's look at file names. File names are important because crawlers look at these file names for relevant keywords. So when possible, use relevant keywords for the folder and file names of your web pages. It's also important to note that you need to use hyphens to separate words and file names. This is because search engines can't tell the difference between, let's say, seafood restaurant as one word from 2 words seafood restaurant. So not only do you have one word that's not even an actual word in the dictionary, but you're sacrificing 2 important keywords in your file name. So these are just some of the important things you want to keep in mind when you're organizing your website. And remember that everything pertains to the content of your website and how it identifies to your keyword phrases. I can't emphasize enough that the most important thing is that your content is rich and unique. This completes video 7 of the Using SEO to Market Your Website video tutorial series.